Hi folks, Vic Bilson here. Got a question for you. Why are food prices going crazy? It says here that global wheat prices have more than doubled in the second half of last year, according to the World Bank. The price of sugar, corn, wheat, cooking oil have also skyrocketed. My question is why is that happening, and who's going to go hungry as a result of it? Well, if you listen to the mainstream media, either on television or you read them online, I've got an article here that they explain the reason why they say rising food prices. If you read those sources, you're going to read about things like the rise of the cost of biofuels, like ethanol that's used to make corn, or made from corn, or more demand from the developing world, particularly from meat. That's that supply and demand curve. Disappearing stockpiles, again, supply and demand curve. Or one of their favorite boogeymen they like to attack and blame for just about everything is speculators. Speculators counting on the price of food going up or down. They say speculators are behind the price of gasoline and oil. They say speculators was behind, are a major factor behind the real estate crisis. They blame speculators for everything. If there's a problem, the administration in Washington, gets a group together who comes up and blames speculators and goes after them and investigates. That's what they love doing, is investigating these speculators. But what very rarely will you hear, and they don't talk too much about this, as to one of what I believe is one of the main drivers behind the cost of food, and that's this stuff. These are Federal Reserve notes printed by the Federal Reserve Bank. And what they've been doing in recent years is they're printing more and more and more and more and more of this, like it's going out of style. Actually, they don't print it. They just, it's all done electronically. They just add zeros to accounts of foreign banks and some U.S. banks, and they do it that way. Related to the price of oil, they blame speculators for that, but they don't tell you that all oil is denominated in these things, these dollars. And Saudi Arabia sells oil to Germany. Germany's got to pay for them in dollars. Everybody, all oil is transacted in dollars. It's because, of our reserve currency status of the dollar. Well, that's starting to change because people don't have quite as much faith in our currency because Ben Bernanke and the Federal Reserve has been devaluing that currency regularly for the past couple of years, and they continue to do so, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. Well, another thing that has happened, and of course they like blaming the price of oil on this one, is what's happened in Libya recently. Well, they say because of shortages of oil in Libya, they have to, the United States is going to sell off, a large portion of their, or a portion anyway, of their strategic oil reserves and release that into the global marketplace to bring down prices of oil. Well, the U.S. is a small, minor user of oil from Libya. Most of the people who are getting that oil are in Europe and Asia. And here we are bailing out Europe and Asia in the gasoline issues, and you're going to see some price reductions, I suppose, because of that global market. But for the most part, it's not in your benefit. It's to benefit Europeans. Also we were told when we saw the uprisings in Egypt and now we're in other countries, where it's going on, Libya and Greece and, Ireland not too long ago, there were riots in the streets and people were upset, and they, Again, the mainstream media tells you that that's because they're wanting democracy. And to a certain degree, that's true. They do want democracy, but that's not the main reason that's pushing them out there. They're being pushed to the streets because they don't have jobs, and their countries, like ours, have gone into tremendous debt and are trying to get out of that debt by printing more dollars in their own currency and devaluing their currency. And they don't have jobs and they can't afford food. They're hungry. Food is our greatest dependency. When you don't have food, not too much else matters. If you're hungry, you're hungry, and you can't eat this stuff. For example, I like silver for a lot of reasons, but it's pretty hard to chew on. You can't really eat the stuff. But what I recommend you do is to put in a supply of storable dehydrated food, so that when prices do go through the roof at the grocery store, if you can't afford the food that's on the shelves, and God forbid it may even be no food on those shelves, but if you can't afford the food in your on the shelves, when you're hungry, something's got to give. And what I recommend is a storable food supply, like what I've been getting from eFoods Global. I've got a link here on this page to you can click over and visit my website, and there's here's kind of a picture here of the site, but on the website there's a section on there where you can take the Food Freedom Tour, and I recommend you take that Food Freedom Tour and learn more about eFoods Global, learn more about our foods, and learn why it's important to have a storable food supply. You'll also learn about our business opportunity, that you can earn more of these as you share the opportunity with others. But uniquely with, I think, eFoods Global, they've got a program where you can actually earn food credits to use against future purchase of storable foods from eFoods Global, just by sharing the website and the opportunity with your friends. You don't even have to go into this as a business, and there's no cost. As a preferred customer with eFoods Global, it doesn't cost you anything, and you can share it with others, and you can actually earn your food that way through these AOK food credits. That as you give away free food to your friends and family and people that you earn credits each time they order free food from the site. So I encourage you to take the Food Freedom Tour on my website. At the end of it, you'll have an opportunity to order a supply for yourself, a sample of our free foods. It won't cost you anything. It will cost you a little bit for shipping and handling, but that's all. There's no other commitment to it. So jump on over there, take a look at it, get that food, check it out for yourself, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at not only the quality, but you'll be just blown away by the fact that the food will last on your shelves for 15 or more years. So regardless of where the economy goes or where food prices go in the next few years, you can protect you and your family from those rising prices. So with that, you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you, not in the bread line, but over the top.